now at Patagonia, obviously I know there's like a famous switch of like quote unquote ownership, but obviously it's Yvonne's baby and company, and still in some capacities, I know that Nature owns it or whatever now, but like do you see him around like this? He's like in the office.
Also, explain that to the layman, also the host of the show that's not entirely sure on all of that.
Yeah, I mean, first question, because I don't want to forget about it, and I'll just answer it. Like, yes, I see him in the office all the time, and Claire's daughter's there like all the time and deeply involved. And John Stark, also like a filmer that I love and respect so much and have worked with, and really proud of like some of the projects we've done together. He texted me a photo of like people pay crazy money for like vintage Patagonia stuff. He texted me a photo of it, of a fleece that like at the shop here. And he was like, do you think this is real? And like literally as I got the text, I was in the lunch line with Yvonne and nobody else was there. And I was like, the logo is really low and it looked kind of weird. And I was like, that's like a really weird place to put a logo like down here. And so I just showed it to him. I was like, do you remember this? And he was like, oh yeah, that's like, I think that was like really early days, first couple of years. And yeah, he's just there. But yeah, the business model. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, but like basically, I don't know what the intention was like for certain, but I think that the family wanted to ensure that like in the future, Patagonia doesn't end up like falling into the same situation that we've seen. Like a lot of the brands that we love and have like paid the paychecks of like people in the community and like the riders and like supported like fostering like what we've all benefited from fall into like the hands of like private equity and bankers and people who aren't gonna maintain the mission and the values. And so
yeah, continue.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, it was privately owned. So like it operated as such, I think there's like operating expenses and then like investment in the company. And then basically there's profits. And I think what's really cool about the Chenards is like money is one thing, and maybe love, that like people basically never are like, you know what, I have enough, I'm good. It's always like more, like how much money can you get? And we see like so much of that right now. I feel like as we've all become adults and like in the last 10 years, it's just like the wealth of like the richest people. It's just mind boggling and kind of sad, I think. And like, yeah, they were like in a very small minority of people that were like, you know what, like we have enough money, like we don't need profits from this company anymore. And we want to see like this company continue to do good and protect it in a way that it will be set up to do that. And so basically, after like operating expenses and investment in the company, which could be like hiring people, giving people raises, like taking care of the employees, like investing in new products or like ambassadors, then basically like the profits go into a fund where the money gets distributed to organizations that are value aligned. So this could be like environmental groups, like NGOs, things that are like groups that are helping to further Patagonia's mission of saving our home planet.
Yeah. That it's like I'm obviously like, I think because I also was a shop kid, so I love marketing. So You're
great at it.
Well, what we're you have this thing we love and you're trying to get other people to do it and inspire people or whatever. And I think Patagonia is like an amazing example of they have run like a very good business plan and marketing plan. And like when I saw that came out, I was like, genius. Like this dude he's just smart. He's a punk. Like he's clearly punk.
Oh yeah, dirtbag. Like,
he's like dirtbag. He comes from the like climbing scene, but also is like gotta be 1 in a million of like who still owns a company that big, with no investor, and just still kills it.
Yeah.
And all the different little moments where you're like, holy shit, like, they have done it. I mean, I feel like I don't work for Patagonia. I'm just like, from an outsider, you're like, yeah, this dude seems like a good man, which is attractive from afar, and you just don't have that much in big companies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a super fan of the company. Like sometimes it doesn't feel real that I work there, and I still think sometimes from an outside perspective. And I mean, yeah, like I truly mean it. Like I can't say enough. Like what you know that they do, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And everybody who works there, I mean, like it's people are so nice and interesting and really fun and like really smart and good at their jobs. And yeah, I had wanted to work for a B Corp or I think it started like honestly probably like when I was pregnant, which was like this crazy moment of like COVID, and like I had been at Takine, I think for what I felt like was too long. I was kind of getting bored and like thinking about what I want to do next. And just like when I was pregnant with Ellie and then when she was born, like it just kind of changed my perspective of the world. And like I had mostly lived my life in like a pretty selfish way, like just having as much fun as possible, like spending as much time in the mountains and like in nature. And like it was all about me and my friends, you know? And I just started kind of like the reality of like someday we're going to be gone. And like, what are we leaving these kids with, you know, like our kids? And you spend like most of your time, like if you're working, like 40, 50 hours a week, like working. And I kind of started to get to this place where I was like, I want to spend those like 40 or 50 hours working for something that means something. Felt like I was kind of like a little bit in the spin cycle with like a lot of what like I was doing with snowboard stuff professionally, but it was really fun. So it was like super hard.
And Dakine had like gone through that moment too, where like bought, sold, turned into like a different version, and you were probably there in a moment where you're like.
Yeah, just like brands that like since I was a kid I loved and were a part of the culture. Just being, you know, bought and sold, just like a transaction, you know, is kind of something that like never really has sat right with me, and I have a hard time with it. Like I just could never go take a job anywhere for any company with any group of people. Like it has to be a company I believe in with the people who work there. Like I trust, I respect, and I also believe in. And so, yeah, I've been so lucky. I've been really lucky between Solomon, Dakine, and now Patagonia, like great people all around.